Hey guys, Happy New Year. I feel like crap, but we're gonna do a Q&A anyway. The first question of the Q&A is, what are your plans for 2025 and for YouTube and life in general? For YouTube, the big things I want to focus on this year is collaboration. I want to work with as many different people as possible. I want to bring people onto my channel, and I want to go onto other people's channels. See how people do it differently than me, and get to experience those different styles. And bring some of the energy over here too. But the other thing is, this year I am shooting for hitting 1K subscribers. Which isn't exactly it isn't as lofty as it sounds to me, since I went from 150 to 430 within the course of last year. And actually, if we're really being serious with last year, I didn't really start making videos or start releasing videos until like May. So I got a complete head start this year. So I'm really happy about that. But yeah, those are the big goals for YouTube. But with life in general, I'm continuing with my New Year's resolution from last New Year's, to not drink soda or energy drinks anymore, which I kept up with last year, and I feel great. I think it's definitely helped with my health, and I'll be continuing to not this year. And I'm also hoping to, as well as eating healthier, which is an ongoing thing for me, which is kind of hard with university and all that. Um, but I'll also be working on, exercising more, taking more walks, taking more runs. As someone who doesn't find a lot of fun in exercise, I understand why people don't do it. I understand why people do it. I just know it's something that I need to do for my brain to function at the level that I need it to, and also for my body to be healthy going forward, because I'd like to live a bit longer. Um, so I can get videos out to you guys. Second question, wow, a little bit dramatic, is something I'm gonna answer. Where do you find the will to keep going? Um, I'm gonna get a little bit real. Um, Last year, while I had a lot of success in certain areas, I'm really glad with how the channel grew, as well as I got to work on some of the most important projects of my life. You know, like, for one, I have the first issue of an anthology comic that is premiering this month, on Zoop.org, and it's the dream, man. It's the dream. But amongst all that, amongst the blessings I've had across the past year, it was also really hard. Um, I deal with a lot of anxiety and depression. You know, just like, I kind of have a little bit of both of incidental stuff, but also, it just kind of comes and goes. It's hard to explain. You really only know it if you're in it. And there's also the thing of, like, uh, someone who was very close to me passed last year. So there isn't really a timetable for grief, getting through that. And then just like, that's another goal for this year is sustainability. Uh, Last year was learning how to be consistent in, craft, whether it's, the YouTube channel or, you know, uh, work like writing, like working on screenplays, working on, comics, what have you. I was learning consistency last year because that's what I needed to learn, but now I need to learn sustainability. Because while I did produce a lot of things last year, I also wasn't, taking care of myself the way I should have been. And a lot of the time I would get to this point where I would be expecting a certain media reaction to the things that I was creating. And when I didn't get that, I would crash out like crazy. Um, so yeah, sustainability. You got to work on. You always got to work on sustainability. The ability to rest, the ability to not need the numbers to go up. um, and finally on that question, I find the will to go forward from you guys, you know, from the people who engage with these videos. And also, I find it from my friends. I find it from, uh, as much as the art that I create, I find it from the art that I witness, that I experience. That's why I watch a lot of movies. I read a lot of books. I should read more. That's why I read a lot of comics. Uh, Ethan Hawke said one time that people don't really care about like poetry or painting or film or whatever until they lose someone, because before it was just a thing out there, but now it's like sustenance. That's what art to me is. It's sustenance. It um encourages me to continue going. So yeah, that's what gives me the will to live. Third question is, when are you going to take the substance? Well, I think to take the substance, there has to be like an unlocked like hottie within you. You know, in the case of Margaret Qualley, I believe it's Qualley. Tell me in the comments if I just said the wrong last name. Which she is great, by the way. She's killing it all last year, which is crazy. Drive Away Dolls, The Substance, absolutely insane. Um, I feel like it would just lay dormant. Um, because all I have is me presently. There's no. I fear I'm not old enough, maybe. I fear I'm not old enough to have like this nebulous younger self. I'm sorry, that's a drawn out answer. I don't know. You take the substance. You have a lying dormant hottie within you, too. Okay, this next question is a little bit more complex than the last couple questions. At least with like the details of the question. And I'm just gonna have to read off for this one. Do you generally prefer inkers who are more faithful to the original pencils, or inkers who have a distinct style? Uh, it's hard. It's tough. I don't know if you can sum up, you know, the power of good inking into like a science. Like I don't know if it's, exact enough, of what is good inking, what is bad inking to like put it into words. uh, I think it definitely has to be like working in concert kind of thing. Um, because I think the thing about like stuff like film and comic books and to a lesser degree animation, is that when you have everybody working in concert with each other, not trying to like out punch someone else, you're able to bring to the surface the purest form of the material. Whereas you have something like, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, whenever Jack Kirby would draw Superman for that, they'd have other artists like draw over Kirby's Superman face. And it went to a point where Jack Kirby would literally frame the character of Superman in this comics for the face to not appear, period, because he didn't want other artists messing with his original material. And that's a long way of saying that I guess it's really about the dynamic between between the inker and the pencilist. But that's like it's a whole video. It's a whole video. And maybe that video will happen. Um, Part of me fears that I don't have the book smarts to put that video to film. Okay, now we got the tough question. Because I have to talk about me. Um, Favorite video that I published this past year in 2024. Um, you know, the YouTuber brain in me wants to say the Star Wars Visions video, but honestly, as much as I'm glad that video took off, I do not think that's my best video this in 2024, like at all. um, though funnily enough, I think my best video this year was automatically after that. Um, as well as the one I just published recently, Wakanda Forever, a thing about grief, which is a video that's been in the works for a long time. But the one after Star Wars Visions video was a all about like music production and sampling, interpolation. I got to talk about MF Doom. I got to talk about the Beatles a little bit. I got to talk about George Harrison. Um, that was like really the first time I got to talk about my love of hip hop. Um, so that video meant a lot to me, especially since that video was really where I felt like I was enjoying myself in the edit. I've always had a complicated relationship with editing because I never really thought I was good at it, and I use Adobe, which isn't super intuitive. So I've always been like, just like whenever I'm in the edit, I just want to kill myself. Um, Especially when I get to the end of it, uh, because you never like what you see. Um, but yeah, I really love that video. Some people do not because the audio mixing is garbage, which is something I'm consistently working on. So bear with me as I, figure out this whole YouTube thing. Um, but I also really like some of the stuff that I came out with the past couple months. Like I said, the Wakanda Forever video, but also I really like the Batman videos that I came out with. The Batman Cape Crusader video, um, which I wish I had a little bit more reaction to that because I put a lot into that. I was hoping I would get that on to James Tucker, because really a lot of that video is a love letter to James Tucker. If you're watching this, James, it's not very likely, but if you're watching this, I love you. I really love that video. Um, apparently a lot of people don't love that show, so maybe that's why there wasn't a lot of big engagement with that video. But yeah, I really like that, and then I really like the trilogy of videos, under the Dear Matt Reeves banner. I got to talk about Batman Forever, which is a great movie. Also, Joel Schumacher, one of my favorite directors. Someday I'll make a video about Falling Down. Um, and I really liked doing the history of Batman cinema video, doing the little video about Batman Brave the Bold, and how much I love that show. Uh, yeah, I've enjoyed a lot of what I've done this year. The Scarlet Witch video, for instance. Um, I was playing a lot with like how dramatic can I make this video, but also I really enjoyed the research in that video. Um, and that video was definitely a delicate thing for me because a lot of the subject matter was, very serious stuff. So I had to take it all in with a big weight, which was really exciting to do, but it was definitely tough. Okay, next question is, what are you most excited for in 2025? Which is kind of a variant of the question I already had earlier. But to, I guess, add something new to it, what I'm really excited for is, doing, big and better videos. I have a Spawn the Animated Series video that's in the works. That's going to be huge. That's going to be massive. As well as, I think my Unicorn Store video is finally going to come out this year with the help of my aide and my pal Squeedo, who will be doing the edit for that, just like the Puss in Boots video, which he did an absolutely terrific job, as well as he did the original Spawn video. So he's the best. Next question: are there any new projects that you want to tackle? There's a lot of stuff I want to tackle. I have I have a series of Star Wars videos that I'm planning on doing in May, which I know is a little surprising because I kept joking after the Star Wars Visions video that I'd never do another Star Wars video again because I didn't want to cater to that kind of specific audience. But I have a lot of stuff that I want to say about certain Star Wars subjects, including Leigh Brackett, who wrote Empire Strikes Back and is considered the mother of the space opera, and also wrote The Long Goodbye, which is one of the greatest noir films. Also, I have some stuff that I want to do with, like, I have a Jack Kirby-esque video in mind, as well as I have a series of videos um, that I'm really excited for that'll be coming in maybe February or March, that I'm going to be getting some help with from a fellow YouTuber that I respect a lot. I keep saying the next question is like the hardest question in the world, but this really is the hardest question in the world. Favorite comic book character and why? I think I got it down to like four. Batman, I obviously got to say Batman because of my namesake. Uh, but I don't know. There's something innate, something just like so natural to what makes Batman so great, and it's his like immutability, his uh, I think the best way to describe it is he's the perfect picture of the indomitable human spirit. Uh, and I don't want to say any more than that because I might make a video about it someday. Along with that, Superman, as we're entering the year of Superman, with Superman Legacy, and hopefully some more My Adventures Superman. Hopefully they don't cancel all the Superman shows. Also, like, there's a lot of Superman comics going around right now, but, it's neither here or there. It's just, I love a hero who can just be a hero because uh, doing the right thing is the right thing. Um, you know, the like whole idea of spreading hope wherever he goes. The like um, country America ideal of like doing of lending a hand to your neighbor whenever they need it. It's like so rooted the character of Superman, you know, and I love that. And then we got two Marvel heroes. I wasn't just gonna say a bunch of DC superheroes and then be like, go away Marvel. Um, I love Spider Man. I've always loved Spider Man. I've watched all the movies. I remember ordering the Sam Raimi trilogy from like Amazon like years and years back. I met Sam Raimi once. He signed my copy of Spider Man 2. What can I say that hasn't already been said about Spider Man? He is the relatable superhero. Um, he deals with everything that we might deal with. Heartbreak. Rent. Uh, Give me my rent. Um, and he deals with so much tragedy. And that's so like irrevocably human. Um, and also just like the strength of this guy, this normal guy who, uh, against all odds, always gets back up and always does the right thing because, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. Um, and that's just so perfect in his insane imperfections. And then the final of the four is, if you know me, you knew it was coming. Um, Miss Marvel, aka Kamala Khan. Honestly, besides Saga of the Swamp Thing by Alan Moore, Miss Marvel by G. Will Wilson, and art by Adrian Alfona is the most important comic that I've ever read. You know, uh, I think Miss Marvel was the first comic where I felt um, truly like seen in the character, where I truly related to the character, even more than like Spider Man. And also, it's a really beautiful book. You really got to read it if you ever have the chance. Okay, this next question, and I am gonna point out the fact that we'll see change because it is 3 o'clock in the morning, which I had not realized because for some reason I have just like insane amount of energy right now. But my brother is trying to sleep, so we're out here, okay? We're all caught up. But this next question is like, this is a, you know, Anakin, why did you betray me moment? Because they asked me, animation or comics? Why would you do this?
Because I'm evil.
Probably the two mediums that I am most passionate about. And sadly, I'm gonna say comics. I'm gonna say comics, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's because comics are boundless. Um, I say comics are boundless because they do allow a like a visual um, a visual cue for what you're supposed to see, how you're supposed to feel um, with a particular story, but it also leaves a lot to your imagination. You have to imagine the like in between space, the gutter panels between each panel. You have to imagine how these images all come together. You know how these images transition from each other, and it gives you a lot of storytelling leeway. Whereas with animation, they are presenting it to you. Whereas with comics, it has some of the imaginative power of literature, in the idea that it gives a lot of the storytelling control to you, which I think is really cool, and that's why I would choose comics. That's why comics are awesome, because they have the visual flair of the visual artistic mediums, but also lets you you know create and emphasize these worlds beyond something like animation can, because there is no greater creative power than the human brain. That's awesome. Thoughts on the current comic industry as a whole? I'm gonna take a long one. It's rough, man. It's rough. I do think indie comics are indie art. I'm gonna say indie art uh, is poised for the biggest comeback ever right now, because uh, we are in an age of ghastly corporate replication of art. Um, whether it's film, television, music, or even comic books. Um, you know, uh, People have been saying for decades, people aren't buying comic books anymore. The comics are dying. You know, I think they're always going to say that. Whether or not it's more or less true. Um, I definitely think we're making some strides. Uh, I think DC's done a lot of work recently to make comics more approachable to people, which I think has made a difference. With like all in stuff, uh, which I think is really cool. I think Marvel is a little bit stuck in the past, a little bit. I'm not trying to sound biased here, because I have loved a lot of the stuff that they've done recently, but a lot of the good stuff they've been doing are steeped in the stuff of the past. Like Al Ewing's Immortal Hulk. Great book. Great book. But I would never recommend that to someone who hasn't read a Hulk comic before, because there's so much required reading to get into something like that, um, which is a problem. It's good to have something like that, but there should also be something that like doesn't have that barrier that we're always talking about with comics. That barrier to entry. And also, part of it is, there just needs to be more education about like how people can get into comics, and then it'll thrive. And also support of comic book stores, support of brick and mortar comic book stores is vital. You know, uh, Once we stop doing that, we're done. We're done. And always going to be a big part of the conversation, with why people aren't buying books or not buying books, is uh, industries do badly because people are doing badly, and people are doing badly because the world is doing badly. You know, uh, Times are not good right now. I hate to be the you know comic book YouTuber talking about the economy, uh, but you know, recession, all that jazz. Uh, Houses are more expensive than they've ever been. Gas is more expensive than it's ever been, and no, electing an official is not gonna make gas prices lower. I'm sorry, that's not how the economy works. It really isn't. But yeah, that's my basic answer for that. Um, but yeah, if you have the economic ability, buy comics. They're pretty cool. I have a comic book anthology that is coming out this month. It's called Prodigy Comics. It's going to be housed on Zoop for the campaign. I'd love for you to check it out. And if you feel like it's gonna be your jam, please support. And you can get yourself a copy. What was my biggest superhero letdown? Superhero project letdown from 2024. Okay. I'm gonna say something that's there's no way this goes well. I did for films. I did not watch a single comic book movie in theaters last year. I didn't watch Deadpool and Wolverine. I still haven't watched Deadpool and Wolverine. I didn't watch Madam Web. There weren't any DC movies. Yeah, I didn't watch any of those. I didn't watch any of the Marvel shows except for Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, which is stellar. I watched a little bit of The Penguin. It was good. I like Batman Cape Crusader. My Adventures with Superman was good. I'll say my biggest letdown was that Superman and Lois is over. It's not a letdown on a show, it's a letdown that it's over. Because I think it had a lot more to do. Yeah, that'll be my superhero project letdown. I guess I'll also say, though I haven't finished the show, I don't really care for Creature Commandos all that much. I watched 2 episodes of it. I wasn't particularly vibing with it. I like James Gunn a lot. The Guardians of the Galaxy movies are very good. I liked the Suicide Squad, but the Creature Commandos felt like he was retreading a lot of the stuff he's already done, as well as just the humor didn't really click with me. Yeah. Not really gonna say anything beyond that. I continue watching the show? I don't know. I'm excited for Superman Legacy though. Don't get me wrong. What is my biggest excitement for 2025 and beyond? Superman, definitely. All things Superman. I'm very excited for the Batman 2 whenever it comes out. And also, to you guys who are, freaking out over the delays, let him cook. Let him cook. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Favorite comic book from 2024. I don't know if I can say one, but I had a lot of favorite comic books. I really like Birds of Prey from Kelly Thompson, and Leo Romero, especially since I had Cass, my girl. I love you. Give me more, Cassandra Cain, and My Life is Yours, DC. Give me more. And also by more, female writers. Normalize, female stories being told by women instead of Tom King. I'm really liking Absolute Wonder Woman. Is really great. I loved Batman Beyond Neo Gothic was terrific. I really like Blue Beetle. Daredevil by Saladin Ahmed. So good. It's so good. I don't want to say something too much of a hot take. But besides a couple other Daredevil runs through the years, okay, what I'm gonna say is, I feel that Saladin Ahmed's Daredevil run is the first run that has captured what I love about Daredevil from the Anna Senti run since that run. That's all I'm going to say. Really good stuff. The art is terrific. Saladin Ahmed is fantastic writer. I really like it. Action Comics really good. Detective Comics really good. Rom V, man. better be buying New Gods because I don't want that for 1,000 issues. I want it forever. You better buy it. You better support it. Or I'm not going to be okay. We need Ram V on New Gods for a long time. I also really liked Miss Marvel. Um, I've really loved the like 2 books they've done with Miss Marvel, written by the actress who plays her, so who is so perfect. You know, you're the best, best. Did I say Blue Beetle? Blue Beetle's really good. Immortal Thor, pretty good. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I need to read more Marvel. But there's just not a lot of stuff that has really caught my eye. Um, Ultimate X Men is really good. Um, Dennis Camp, you're the goat. You're the goat. That's all. That's all I can say. Um, I really like the new Iron Man run. I mean, like giving Iron Man, like a steampunk style sword. It's so cool. It's so cool. Green Arrow, Josh Williamson, really good. Uh, yeah, that's my basic rundown. Comics are cool, guys. I also really like Man's Best, which was a really good book for indie. Favorite comic book relationship: Lois and Clark, Wally West and Linda, always. Thoughts about YouTube live stream? I think it could use some work. Um, intuitivity wise, but that could be said for all YouTube creator features because they keep adding things that we don't need, like AI integration. But also, like I enjoy it. I enjoy live streaming from time to time. I've done a good amount of like Arkham Asylum and Arkham City streams over 2024. So I quite like it. Uh, yeah, streams are good. Streams are good. I'll probably do some this year. If I have the time and the sanity. Is my dog cute? You didn't give me a picture. Might be a little bit of a problem. That was not a great moment on my part. Apparently, you did send a photo to me in reply to a tweet from a week or so ago. Uh, yeah, that was a moment of embarrassment. Yes, your dog is cute. Your dog is awesome. No, not as cool as mine. The last question is, what was your gateway comic? And gateway comics, much like gateway drugs, are tasty. Never see them coming, and they're never quite as typical as you might think. I don't know what that analogy was, but you all had to sit in the uncomfortable silence, just like me. My gateway comic, for all intents and purposes, was Batman Adventures, by Ty Templeton and Kelly Puckett, both terrific people. Um, I plan on doing a video about that maybe sometime this year, if the DC gods smile upon me. Um, yeah, I used to go to a bookstore with my dad when I was really little, and I found issues of Batman Adventures there, which I still own. I still own Batman Adventures issue 2, issue 3, and I have quite a lot more now because I've built up that collection. But those issues have a very near and dear. place in my heart. You know, not just because it was the comic that got me into comics, but also, those memories with my dad, going to find more comics. Yeah. Um, I don't know how to end this. Um, Tea is cool. Um, if you stayed long enough for this Q&A, if you're not subscribed, do so. Uh, it would be nice. It would be cool. What are the kids saying now? It would be demure. I'm not cool.